Morning, guys. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Wow, that was nice. Wow, it is chilly this morning. Got a big wind coming in this way and pretty cold. But I've learned in life there's only one way to defeat the cold, and that's with the cold. You got to get used to it. And that's coming from somebody that lived the majority of his life in Canada when it is really, really cold. In fact, where I was up in Alberta, up in the northern part, in that Edmonton area there, you could have winter start in September and still be going on into June. In fact, when I would buy my wife her flowers for June, we'd have to keep them inside the house until all the snow would melt. And what was really crazy is the front of the house where the sun would shine, all the snow would be gone. The back of the house where there was shade, you'd walk out the back door and there'd be snow all in the back. It was really something else, but you get used to it. And in fact, you find ways to enjoy it. I remember as a kid, I can't we found 1,001 ways to have fun in the snow. I mean, snow forts, castles, snowball fights, snow people, you name it, tunnels even. I mean, it's amazing we weren't buried alive in some of the tunnels that we built as kids, but it was an adventure to be sure. And you can find happiness in anything if you really put your heart into it. So, well, guys, I had two articles today that I read, and I'm usually reading about two, sometimes two or three, and some of them really piqued my interest quite a bit. Well, one having to do with Texas really caught my eye. So apparently, of course, they're putting out there now that, oh, well, with all of the lower herds, the population of the herd sizes, beef prices are just going to go boom, way up high. Well, of course they're going to go way up high. What they did earlier on this year is it was getting almost ridiculously expensive for a lot of these ranchers to raise their herds. So what were they doing? They were culling all of the cattle and selling it off to the meat packing plants. And of course, that reduced all the herd. And guys, listen, it's going to take a few years to build those herds back up because all the breeding stock is gone as well. And so any case, all these meat packing plants, they have all the beef from earlier on this year. It's all being frozen and housed. And yet what's going to go on now is they're just going to say, hey, supply and demand, put this narrative out there, jack the prices up, and it's going to be something else. But on having said that, give me a second here. In relation to that, well, not necessarily on the same vein, I was reading about beef prices in Germany, and they're expecting beef prices to soar over 40% in Germany. It is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, hey, if you hear some noise, my neighbor over here is still doing a whole bunch of work now, landscaping all around that pool, so I have to contend with all this noise for a while longer, and hopefully the sound will be okay. But getting back to our story. So needless to say, 40% prices increases on beef in the supermarket, and the supermarkets are saying, hey, look, don't expect the shelves to be that full either. Now, on top of that, this article about Germany had this whole thing to do with, they are preparing, the government over there is preparing for a lot of aggressive discontent and bank runs, no less. In fact, what they're doing is they're bringing in emergency cash so that they can help to alleviate these potential bank runs. But they're literally preparing right now for possible bank runs and aggressive discontent over this winter. And it is going to be bad. You think that not getting your money off of exchanges is tough? Wait till you go to the bank, because they're talking about limiting withdrawals at bank accounts, somewhat what they did in Cyprus, where you're only going to be allowed to take out maybe 100 euros a day or something ridiculous like that. So, hey, if you're in Germany and you haven't seen this happen yet, I'm telling you what, look these articles up. I'll put a link into the description of this video so that you guys can see that. And I would say, hey, if you've got some extra cash in the bank, just go get it. Have it at home, because this coming winter, is going to be bad. Now, I know it's November and we're in winter already, but I'm talking about from now until February and maybe into March. It is going to be really bad. And that is what the government is preparing for. And I was thinking, what are they going to do? Bring back, the brown coats or, some sort of police to come in and just, control the whole population? Because that is crazy. I mean, that they're going to put these kinds of restrictions on Germany, no less, which is an economic powerhouse in Europe. And if it's in Germany, don't think that the rest of Europe isn't going to be following suit. Because like I said, Germany is an economic powerhouse. They're like the beating heart of that Euro economy over there. And one thing I will say this, German people are highly industrious people, amazing. And when you consider how they rebuilt that whole nation after World War II, that generation of doers and workers, truly amazing. But you've got the government over there that literally sold them down the river, as far as I'm concerned, getting rid of all of their, their energy resources, that their coal-fired plants and, the nuclear energy that they had over there. They just kind of did away with all that, put themselves 100% dependent on foreign sources practically, and adversaries, if you can believe that. Unbelievable, really. And guys, I'm not just trying to rant here. Of course, I feel it and I feel like ranting. Maybe I am ranting a little bit. But I'm just saying this from a perspective of, man, if I was living over there, and that was going to be my reality, I would be doing some preparations. I'd be making sure I had an extra bit of this, an extra bit of that, a little bit of cash at home. I mean, because the government is not going to be able to come to the aid of people in pain. In fact, the government is preparing to protect themselves from the aggressive discontent that they expect that's going to be coming. So that tells you right there, it is going to be really, really bad. And my heart goes out to folks in those conditions. And not to mention that, look at the UK. I mean, here they are expecting to have also a really, really bad winter season. And the government over there has kind of like just sold a bill of goods and have, they vacated so much infrastructure that was so good for the independent nations over there and made themselves reliant on sources that could not be absolutely depended upon in a future way. And so you've got all of Europe really suffering over this whole thing going on between Russia and Ukraine. And it causes me to wonder how much strategic thinking went into this thing, Because guys, I'm telling you what, it is, when you think of how bad this will affect the average folk, it is going to be really something else. And I think we need to hold these politicians accountable for their incompetence and lack of character. Look, when you're dealing with situations, people in high position, and when we're electing people like this, you need competence and you need character. And it seems to me that a lot of these politicians have neither competence or character. Now, that's just my personal view, but it seems like they do everything they possibly can to make sure they're insulated and their families are okay. But the average run of the mill, no, we're not. It is just crazy. If we did some of the shenanigans that these guys did, we would be in bars in a heartbeat, and they would be throwing away the key. They'd be roasting us publicly over an open flame. You know that's true. But it seems like these politicians, a lot of them, just seem to skate by and get away with it. And there's literally one set of rules for them and another set of rules for us. And now, hey, we understood that's the way it was back in those days of serfdom and all that, and that whole, type of economic system that they had going on back there. But we got rid of that. We got rid of it for a reason. We got rid of it because it was not something that was allowing freedom and liberty to reign with the average folks. And so what happened? Revolutions happened, guys. You had the French Revolution. They got away from the divine right of kings. That was thrown out. You had the American Revolution. You had all these revolutions so that we could set up societies that benefited everyone from the high to the low. But now it seems like we're going backwards in time, and it's like this big elite group up here and the rest of us all way down here. I mean, they literally want to feed us bugs, cut back on all the resources, and literally some cases even make it illegal to catch rainwater. if you can believe that. And so you can't even catch rainwater without the government's okay. It is, I'm telling you, it's getting crazier and crazier. But the longer we sit back and do nothing, then we're going to just continue to get the same, more of it, and probably more harsher bits of it as well. So that's where I say we got to step up and we got to do our part. And a bunch of us have to get to the place where we say no more of this and do what we need to do from a democratic position to ensure that we go back to the standards that a lot of these countries have upheld for years. Look, my grandfathers, your grandfathers, and for some of you younger folks, it was your great grandfathers, they literally laid down their lives so that we could have liberty and be able to be in control of our own destinies and craft societies where those things were upheld, those values were reinforced. And you know what? I think we need to get back to that, and we need to remember that and remind these politicians of that, that we're not just some kind of, fodder under their feet, and that, they weren't sent there they weren't sent there to rule over us. They were sent there to actually manage and administer the constitutions and the will of the people. Now, hey, that's what I believe. Wow, that was a long speech. Sorry about that. I must be feeling something this morning. But hey, guys, anyway, it's Friday, and thank goodness it is Friday for a lot of folks. And Saturday, tomorrow, we have our live stream. I just can't wait to share all the stuff that we're doing on the channel with you guys. And we have an amazing community. And this is a we situation. And you all helped us get there. And I'm truly amazed at where we're standing right now, and I'm so happy about it, and I hope that you can take some joy in it as well. So guys, I'll tell you what, I got a great video for you later on today, and until then, take care, and tomorrow we've got our live stream celebration. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait to see you there. All right, take care.